Hello there, geeks and gamers. I'm Marc the Cyborg, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the sexy new release games coming out in December 2020.
As the world crumbles, our divine powers sealed away. Even the gods need a hero.
Ubisoft's Gods and Monsters has been retitled after, of all people, Monster Energy Drink threatened legal action against them. Immortals Fenyx Rising is the new and extremely forgettable title, but the game is looking alright, if very heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild. Early impressions of the game were pretty positive, with YouTuber SkillUp even saying that the combat is more engaging than Ubisoft's flagship holiday release, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I did get a chance to play the demo on a free Google Stadia that I was sent, and honestly I wasn't very impressed, but I'm willing to chalk that up to the 20 FPS frame rate and half-second input lag I was getting. It's been a great year for Greek Mythology, with Supergiant's Hades hitting 1.0, but if you'd like a less intense, larger scale, and more kid-friendly battle against mythological beasts, check out Immortals Fenyx Rising on December 3rd on Uplay, PS4 or 5, Xbox One or Series, Nintendo Switch, or Stadia, but don't get it on Stadia. I've been looking forward to this brutal-looking 2D action game for a while, and it's finally nearing release. Developed by only 2 people, this game sees you playing as a warrior fighting your way home to your family. In your way are legions of monsters which you can either bargain your way past, or fight with weighty tactical combat. It seems like a lot of heart and soul went into this one, and I look forward to checking it out on December 9th when it comes to GOG, Steam, PS4, Xbox One, or Stadia. Haven is French developer The Game Baker's follow-up to their cool indie action game Fury, and it looks to bring back their unique anime-inspired art style. However, instead of an action game, Haven is a hybrid of a JRPG and a traversal simulator. There also appears to be some resource collection and crafting systems. You play as a couple who have run off to an alien planet, and the result appears to be what you'd get if you crossed Final Fantasy with Journey and No Man's Sky. From a scale standpoint, I'm sure it will be closer to Journey, but I really like what I've seen of this game so far, and I'll be interested to check it out sometime after December 10th when it launches on Steam, the Xbox Series line, and PS5.
PlayStation 5 players, we've got a surprise for you. Get ready to enter the world of Temtem on December 8th through early access.
Unless you count Digimon, Nintendo has had the Pocket Monster market cornered for 20 years now, and while some members of the Geeks and Gamers team would have you believe Nintendo's development studios can do no wrong, people have been slowly turning on the Pokemon Company over the years and calling them out for lazy asset flips and making their games worse rather than better with new installments. In 2018, development studio Crema kickstarted their answer to the prayers of jaded Pokemon fans with their game Temtem, a monster capturing and training MMO which is heavily inspired by Pokemon and apparently does a lot of things better. Temtem is currently on Steam Early Access with a very positive user rating, and on December 8th it will be launching on PS5. I'm not the guy to break down exactly why it's better than Pokemon, as I'm personally not a fan of the genre and I wouldn't be able to accurately convey the nuance, but if you're interested in Pokemon and have not heard of Temtem, this is a game it might be worthwhile for you to look into further.
Kronos, before the ashes.
This re-release of an Oculus VR game is also a canon prequel to one of my favorite games of 2019, Remnant from the Ashes. Kronos Before the Ashes takes place 1 month before Remnant, and apparently has quite a few direct narrative connections. So if you are a fan, it might be cool to discover new details about the root and how it began infecting the worlds of Remnant. While Remnant was a shooter, Kronos appears to be much more melee focused, so it will certainly be a change of pace for fans, but I was very impressed with Remnant, so it'll be cool to see a bit of Gunfire Games' legacy. And if you're playing on Nintendo Switch, this will be your chance to check out the Ashes universe, because apparently it's a universe, when Kronos launches on December 3rd for Steam, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia.
Welcome to France, gentlemen. I lead the local resistance cell. something big is happening inside Gestapo headquarters, and we don't know what it is.
We're gonna have to improvise here.
Respawn Entertainment returns to the Medal of Honor series on December 11th. I say it returns because the absolute classic Medal of Honor Allied Assault was made by a little company called Infinity Ward before a disagreement with EA over non-American protagonists made them jump ship to Activision and create Call of Duty, before a disagreement with Activision made the core members of the team jump ship back to EA and start Respawn. It's almost a bit tongue-in-cheek that this game is called Above and Beyond, as the full phrase in reference to an act of valor is to go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Above and Beyond is not looking to take Call of Duty head-on though, as this is a VR title for the Oculus and Steam VR platforms. The game appears to deliver some of the big moments you'd expect from a World War II shooter like a D-Day invasion scene, but it will also feature some more spy-like gameplay and moments which seem more Indiana Jones than Saving Private Ryan. I'm really looking forward to checking it out, and while I doubt it will be competitive with the VR killer app that is Half-Life Alyx, it could act as another reason for people to check out the medium, which would be good news, as VR is truly incredible, and as more people start using it, we'll begin to see much more software and much cheaper hardware.
Let's go back to the beginning. A week ago, I got into Chicago. As soon as I did, I started handing out my calling card. It wasn't long before I was building an empire and making contacts.
These days it's not very difficult to find a turn-based strategy game if you're looking for one, but Empire of Sin is probably the first one I've seen which takes place in Prohibition-era Chicago. OG id Software legend John Romero made this game with his wife Brenda, but it's a big departure from his roots as a first-person shooter pioneer. Instead, you will take the role of a historically inspired mob boss and use grand strategy-style management to take over Chicago, with XCOM-style combat erupting if things go south. So if the Mafia remake gave you a taste for Prohibition-era crime fiction, or if you just like the complex chess games that are turn-based strategy titles, you can check out Empire of Sin on December 1st for Steam, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Cyberpunk 2077 is the newest game from Witcher 3 developer CD Projekt Red, and is based on Mike Pondsmith's pen and paper RPG Cyberpunk 2020. The game puts you in the robot legs of a mercenary called V and lets you customize everything about your character. It features first-person shooter and melee combat, but also gives you the ability to navigate around problems, either by hacking computer systems or just using your street smarts and charm to talk your way around them. There are also a number of vehicles to buy or steal, complete with racing missions. The main story is apparently going to be much shorter and more streamlined than Witcher 3, but if Witcher 3 is any indication, it's a safe bet that it'll be quite well written. Also, it features the incredibly breathtaking Keanu Reeves in the role of Johnny Silverhand. I'm definitely looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077, and I really hope it lives up to its expectations, but there's always a chance it could end up being broken at launch. If that turns out to be the case, be prepared for one review where I'll either sound pissed off or Eeyore levels of depressed. But if the game is as good as it seems, stay tuned for a few G&G videos covering it, including one I have planned which looks at one quest through multiple team members' perspectives. What choices will Krista make? I'm willing to bet they will involve beeps.
Yeah, Rex.
Here's hoping Cyberpunk 2077 does actually come out on December 10th for GOG, Steam, PS4, and Xbox One. If you're on Series X or PS5, you can play the game via each console's backwards compatibility modes, and you'll be getting a free upgrade to the next-gen versions when they're released later in 2021. I really hope you've enjoyed this series over the year. The first one I made was in January 2020, so this marks a full year of new game releases. If you go back and watch the old episodes, the release dates will have passed, which means they can now act as a tool to help you discover games that you may have missed, and many games, particularly those towards the beginning of the year, will likely be a lot more affordable than when they launched. In the coming weeks, I'll definitely have some more game reviews coming up for you, and if it does actually launch, I've got a lot of Cyberpunk content planned, but if I don't see you, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, geeks and gamers.